Hey guys, it's Hayes with CheatSheetPros. I wanted to do a recap of the July 5th, 2022 percentage plays. We incorporated this about 4 to 6 weeks ago, and so what I've noticed going back and tracking them is if a play is greater than 5% or greater, then that's one you want to take a look at as consideration. So far this year, the dogs have ruled. Favorites are less than 60%, and that's the first time in MLB history that's happened. So I want to flip through the games yesterday. Spoiler alert, there were 6 plays yesterday that were 5% or greater. They went 5-1 plus 6.2 units. So we're going to flip down the sheet. We're going to take a look at them. I've got the scoreboard over here. So the first one, we have Seattle, San Diego. Here you can see this is plus 7%. How to interpret this is the normal Vegas line is going to be somewhere around Padres minus 125, Seattle plus 125, somewhere in that range. And then over here, our line says, okay, Seattle should be favored. We've got them at minus 130. So they closed at plus 115. So that was an advantage of around 7%. And they won 6-2. So that was plus 1.15 units. And then let me flip down here and find the next game. So here's the next one. So Cincinnati had a 6% advantage, so that's one you would want to take a look at. So they were sitting around what should have been about plus 150 when the line opened, and we had them down as where plus 117 was more realistic. So they actually closed at plus 180. So that's an even greater advantage than what we saw before. They end up winning the game 1-0 at plus 180. So that's plus 1.8 units. And then let's flip down here and see what the next game is. And if it's a small advantage, I'm just going to go over it if pitcher doesn't have enough stats. So here's the next one. So Pitt was plus 6%. So we had him, Vegas should have pegged it around plus 150, 155. We had him more plus 117. And then they closed at plus 155, so really close to this projected line. And they end up winning the game 5-2. So that was a winner for plus 1.55 units. Didn't have anything there. Detroit plus 5% over here. You can see we had Detroit pegged around plus 130. And that's what they that's what they closed at, as plus 130. And then we had them on our line as Detroit should have been favored, minus 110, minus 112. They end up winning the game 11-4 for plus 1.3 units. So that is absolutely fantastic. St. Louis, so here St. Louis we had plus 5%. They were plus 125, 130, somewhere in that range. We had them about minus 115. They end up losing the game. Let's see what that score was. Okay, so they lost 7-1. So they lost that game. But since they were a dog, so we were getting around plus 130. That was only minus 1 unit even. So minus 1.0 for our loss, which isn't terrible. And then let me find this last game. Arizona was the other one. So Minnesota was a 4%. KC 3%. Not enough stats there. Going down to San Francisco, Arizona. Okay, so Arizona was plus 9%. So they had them at plus 136 is what our line was. They closed at plus 140, so this is pretty close to what Vegas is going to have before it starts bouncing around. And then over here, we had Arizona as minus 126, and we even actually have them higher in the last 10 power rankings, so a 9% advantage. And they end up winning the game 6-2 at plus 140. So plus 1.4 units. So they ended up 5-1 plus 6.2 units on July 5th. And July 4th, we were also extremely profitable. So just something to keep an eye on. We're not saying bet every game that's over 5%. But right now when things are wacky and the dogs are winning a lot of games, it's much easier to bet a dog at plus money and roll with that. So keep an eye on this. Just wanted to point it out. Good luck, guys.